Okay, guys, so I'm gonna explain why I'm doing this Speak English on Photo Booth in a second, but we're gonna talk about my predictions. I am by no means like a psychic. I would not call myself a psychic. Already sounds insane. But what I've been doing lately is like taking my astrological findings, so looking at future transits. Normally when we do astrology, like birth charts and stuff, we look at past transits to be like, oh, like this planet was here and it was, aspecting this planet in this way, so this is probably why X, Y, and Z happened. But what I've been doing is looking at future ones to try and come to a conclusion of like things that I think that are going to happen in the near future. So, the reason I am filming this on Photo Booth is because I feel like we're heading back into a more authentic place as far as technology and social media and sharing things goes. I really think that social media, especially things like Instagram, have become such a storefront for people that they're not comfortable as they used to be on it. Like, they don't even see their friends anymore on it. It's just a sales page for companies. So normally I'm very prim and proper in my videos, and I actually wanted to mention that because in my last video, like, I look like I'm shooting a Target commercial. I'm being so smiley and just like I wouldn't say I wasn't being myself, but like, I don't know, something about having such a professional DSLR in front of me makes me act weird. So this is going to help me be a little bit more authentic as well. But I'm going to share my predictions with you guys. And basically, like I was just explaining, like I feel like perfectly executed and produced videos aren't going to be people's favorite things anymore. I feel like we're starting to see old school YouTube, not just YouTube, but just creators in general that like are so normal and like don't try so fucking hard to be somebody else, are going to succeed with like flying colors. And I feel like I talked about this with something else, but it reminds me of like I talked about it on my podcast, KMONEY Hotline. I'll link it in the description. But it reminds me a lot of like how Emma Chamberlain came to success. Like, she was so normal, she was so honest, she didn't try to be this like super cool, super perfect like teenage blonde girl. Like, she was honest in the fact that she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, I dropped out of school because I don't know what I'm doing, I feel like such a loser, I don't have friends, and just like filmed things that she enjoyed doing. And I mean, even now, I'm talking about Emma in particularly, like even now she's like, hello, a millionaire, and she lives in like a $4 million home, but she still seems to be that very normal, down-to-earth person, at least in her content. But what I'm saying is I feel like those type of creators are going to, come to life, or even businesses as well. So I'm going to go on my Patreon. That I'm going to link in the bio. Now listen, Patreon is my exclusive content, okay? It is to put people 10 steps ahead of everybody else with astrology, tarot, just like information that I get my hands on. I share everything there. It's $11.11 a month, but the only reason I'm sharing the predictions that I posted on there is because they're already coming true. And listen, I'm a Virgo moon. I need everybody to know that I'm fucking right. I need the credit to know that I'm right, because I'm already seeing these predictions come to life, like literally come to fruition so much earlier than I expected them to. So, let's see. And I always add examples too, so people like know what I'm talking about and that I'm not just like talking out of my ass. So basically what I do is I look at just like any live transit chart online, doesn't matter what website it's on, but I look at the future transits coming up, what planets are where, why, and their effect, and then I do some like intuitive work, nothing woo-woo, nothing crazy, no crystal ball, nothing like that, just me being like, okay, how is this going to materialize in the real world? Like, how can I really see this coming to life considering the circumstances right now? So, where is it? So, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius until 2023. It has been since 2020. Saturn is very, like, lessons. Oh my god, this is what's bad about, like, my train of thought when I'm videoing is like, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense in my head, and I normally have to like write it down and make it into English that people can conceptualize. But lessons, Saturn is like lessons, discipline, having maybe to learn things the hard way, maturity, very like stern energy, right? And because it's going to be in Aquarius, which is like innovation, technology, social media, groups of people, friends, communities, all of that type of thing, until 2023. I am reading my own stuff right now. This was a tweet I had that I posted on Patreon. Young Kales, YUNGKALEZ, on Twitter, Instagram, and like everything else in the world. So that's making me think that we're going to see more tech solutions pop up and replace humans. And the reason I say that, not in a scary way, but it's only because Pluto is entering Aquarius as well into 2024. So after Saturn is in Aquarius, then we're going to see Pluto in Aquarius immediately after that. So that makes me think, because Pluto is like transformation, power, very like death and rebirth of something, it's making me think that we're going to have unexpected changes, Aquarius, Uranus, with technology, Aquarius, through like robotic things. Like I feel like we're going to start, so when I say robots, I don't mean like cartoon metal like robots. I mean like Siri's a robot, right? Or like Amazon Alexa. I feel like we're going to see that, but maybe in more of like an intense way, Pluto, like maybe AI therapy or something like that. Something where it's like literally going to replace humans' jobs. 444 on the clock. And we've known this. Like, we've known that robots are going to be replacing people's jobs, right? Like, that's been a thing for a while now. But people are always like, oh, that's why you gotta be a fucking doctor. Like, that's why you gotta X, Y, and Z. Like, get something that's a real job. And it just kind of, like, discriminates people and, like, is very condescending towards people that have, like, jobs that they like. But I feel like we are going to start seeing that more. And the reason that I was harping on this was because I'm not going to insert it in this just because I want it to be as raw as possible. I don't know, maybe I will edit it in. But there was like an Amazon Go store that I saw. Not in real life, I saw a video of it, but I guess they're in China, and I think there's actually some in the city, in New York City. And it's basically like a cashierless, like employee-less store where it's self-checkout and it like scans. You are charged like when you walk out. You don't like have to take out your card. Like, you are just charged by your existence, like going in and out of there. And I mean, that's transformative. If that's the most Aquarius shit I've ever heard. And that was like one of the things that kind of struck my inspiration to write an entire article on like things that I wanted to look a little bit more into. But let me see, what else did I say here? Yeah, I was just talking about how the idea of a celebrity has evolved and how like social media is pretty much fully integrated into our reality more than reality. Like, the internet used to be an escape for reality, but now we get off the internet, we escape off the internet to like feel like we're in reality again. Like, that's how sucked into it that we are. So I was just talking about how I feel like the idea of a celebrity is going to change, like the Emma Chamberlain effect. But yeah, we're just craving more authenticity. We seem to like celebrate more honest people that aren't so perfect rather than people that are perfect. So like, I'm starting to think that we're leaving the Kardashian era a little bit. I feel like the last 3 years we've kind of been on the fence of like, when I say the Kardashian era, I don't just mean the Kardashians, I mean like the Kardashians, Instagram models, being fucking perfect, like getting paid to do nothing and like be offensive, basically. Nikita Dragun, Tana Mojo, like people that just get paid to like put out garbage energy into the world. Like, whatever, you guys can think whatever you want about them, but I'm just saying like people that don't necessarily add positive value with the amount of power that they have. I feel like that whole like luxurious image isn't going to be people's like American dream anymore. So like, I have to get my charger. Where is it? Look at my cat. I look like a caveman. Okay, cool. Like, just right now, like, I just thought of Lohanthony for a second, and, like, Lohanthony, I don't know if you guys have kept up with him, his story's kind of sad. He's, like, a hardcore Catholic now. It doesn't seem like the most healthy thing. It seems like, I don't know, that's a whole different conversation, but Lohanthony, like, I remember his videos growing up. He was so famous for, like, being himself, but, like, his mom would be yelling at him in the background or something. Like, it wasn't about perfect content, it was about real content, and him, like, fucking with people at school, and, like, it was clear that he got bullied, but he was still, like, himself, and I just feel like those types of people are going to start thriving again. I feel like we had a period for a long time where, like, having a glam team on speed dial was like the dream, and I don't know, I just feel like we're really heading into like a more normal, not normal, a more like normal people being celebrated kind of situation again. And this just kind of reminds me of like the fashion industry. Like, we always see fashion cycle through what, like every 20 years, and like we're already seeing the Y2K era kind of come back. My mom's boyfriend is right near my window, and I don't want to sound like a psycho. And I just feel like if we were to apply that to life, not just fashion, in the 2000s, we only had flip phones. We weren't like on Instagram all day. We were carrying around a fucking brick in our back pocket and like calling everybody. And again, that's Aquarius, technology, social media. Like, I literally feel like people, not just adults, but like even children, are going to be reverting back to like not being the iPad, Gen Z children generation. Like, they're going to want to not have an iPhone. They're going to want to be outside more, focus on hobbies more, focus on, their relationships more, and not parasocial relationships and being obsessed with people that they don't know. I really think people are going to ditch the iPhone soon, or like do cleanses where they like don't use their social media for like 6 months or a year at a time or something like that, and then come back as like a new person. So as far as just like individual predictions, one of them was that I really feel like we're going to return to websites and blogs rather than social media apps. So what I mean by this is, like, I don't think people are going to use follow me on Instagram as their thing anymore. I feel like it's going to be something along the lines of like finding somebody on MySpace again, like going back to written blogging rather than captionless photos. I feel like a lot of more people are going to get more recognition again for like their writing or their thoughts rather than like how pretty they are, kind of like in Tumblr when like you would follow somebody and you wouldn't even know what they looked like. Like, to this day, for 10 years, you would have followed them and not know what they looked like, but like you knew who they were, you knew how they spoke, and like you followed them for what they, embodied, what they talked about, the thoughts that they shared. What else do I have on here? Like, I can kind of see like an anonymous, like faceless blog just going viral just because of whatever like knowledge or thoughts that they're pushing. But I also think we're going to start seeing celebrities hang out with normal people more often, and that's going to be like the cool thing to do. Like, it's going to be cool to have more normal friends than celebrity friends. And I actually saw, it was Carisha from City Girls tweet probably like a few weeks ago, I'm going to start going to dinner with 4 of my fans every Friday or something like that. And that's like what I mean, like integrating yourself into groups Aquarius groups, that aren't as exclusive or like luxury based, but more authentically based, and like having friends in all places, not just high places. I could kind of see like Bella Hadid heading in this direction too. I don't know if that's like an intuitive thing, but I could see her, and I think that's because like her Instagram isn't always so luxurious. Like, she just seems more normal, more chill. I don't know if it's like a fake thing to like seem cool, or if she's actually, sharing oh my god, authentic moments. But that's someone I could see with, because like even with David Dobrik, I mean, I wouldn't argue that David Dobrik is a normal person anymore, but I would say that he was like 2 years ago or so. People loved that content because it was down to earth and relatable. People like fucking around with their friends and stuff like that. And the Jenners like became friends with them. Stas, whatever her name is, like people in very high places became friends with those people because they were being authentic, which we know now like isn't authentic David Dobrik stuff, but that was everybody's impression of it. But yeah, what else is on here? So I think that people may start investing in compartmentalized technology again rather than having it all on one phone. So by that I mean that we used to, marketing in general, we buy things for convenience. We buy things that solve a problem. And people wanted the iPhone so bad because it was everything you'd ever need, like on one phone. But I feel like with the idea of people ditching their iPhones or their smartphones, that we might start seeing people like have, an iPad. I mean, not an iPad, an iPod, a digital camera, a laptop, what else is on here? Like a separate GPS, like these things separate rather than all in one place because they're like trying to separate themselves from the obsession with the phone. Like I could see myself rocking an iPod again. Like I was actually looking at them recently and they were super cheap, and I could kind of see people going in that direction again. Just like focusing on simplicity to like organize our intentions and stuff like that. But I feel like people are going to be more private online, not showing their faces as much, no captions, just photos, kind of like a little portfolio. I feel like people are going to get into photography again. Remember like when we were younger in like 2010, 12, people would have a photography page and it would just be like, because they got a new iPhone and they were like, Instagram was new and they would just put like the sepia filter on something. Like I kind of feel like people will ditch their personal social media and only post photos of their life. Maybe like in the way of Visco, I could kind of see it being that kind of thing where people like don't put too much of their face online but just the things they do. I feel like that era ended because once everybody had an iPhone, like pictures were so clear, like everything looked so good, and that photography phase that everybody had was because of a digital camera or just getting a new phone and it was the new thing. And now it's kind of like you can't be a photographer unless you have like a giant DSLR and you're like living in LA. But I kind of feel like people may go through that again, like again just cycling through things we've already been through. Something that I did think, especially with Saturn, like we said, Saturn is lessons, health, and then being in Aquarius, so groups, friends, social media, relationships and stuff like that. I think that this is just an intuitive thing as well. I feel like there's going to be like a sobriety edge with younger people. So I feel like we're going to see kind of like support groups based around health with people either meeting in real life or online, but like I don't know why I'm just imagining people my age in their 20s in like AA or something, like very more open about drug abuse and avoiding that and addiction and stuff like that. I think people are going to be more committed to being clean even though they're younger, and groups dedicated towards children of addicts or lost close ones to addiction, creating accountability packs and stuff like that, because I feel like our generation, and when I say my generation, I mean like late millennial, early Gen Z, I guess. I feel like people are a lot more open about their trauma and the things that they've been through as far as mental health with the way they were raised and the things that they were raised into, and kind of avoiding repeating those patterns. I just think we're all very conscious of those things, and it's a much more open conversation than like our parents ever had. So I could see groups around that starting to branch out. I think that people are going to start settling for lower paying jobs for the sake of happiness. And this kind of reminded me of like American Beauty, how I like vaguely remember that movie, but the guy like quit I'm assuming he had a really nice job, but he like quit his job to work at McDonald's and like smoke weed all day. But he was so happy. And I kind of feel like people are going to be accepting a not so crazy job in return for more free time to focus on hobbies, their social life, building relationships, and like placing their value in life itself and what it has to offer rather than assets and finances. I do feel like we're going to start seeing people taking more courses or investing in or going back to school, even at a young age, like I mentioned. So pursuing interest, not necessarily out of necessity for like, oh, I need to go to school and get like this credit in order to do this really high paying job, but more like people literally going back to school or taking a course on things that are solely for their interest and meeting people that are also interested in it. So like something that I've always been interested in is like human sexuality. I don't think I like would want to pursue a job in that. I mean, I change my mind every single day. I'm also 23 going on 24, so anything I say like the next day I'm probably going to say the opposite thing and have different feelings about it. But I don't think I'm probably going to go into a human sexuality job at any point in my life, but it is something I'm interested in, and that is something I'd be willing to invest like a good amount of money even just on textbooks just to learn about it. And I feel that people are going to be like sharpening their skill set just for the sake of enjoying those things. um what else? I also feel like we're going to start seeing more women's only establishments pop up. Kind of like the women's only section at the gym that we see. I think that was Planet Fitness. But I think we're going to start seeing, especially first in larger cities like New York or LA, stuff like that, women's only housing or apartments or tattoo shops, like to, an attempt to create a safer environment for women, but also just to have them flourish rather than like have them be avoiding like an unfortunate encounter in situations like that, where like in places where that does happen a lot. So I think that's going to be a big thing as well. Again, with Aquarius and groups and Saturn as well, and Pluto, definitely Pluto, is that I could see more like culty things popping up. Nothing like necessarily scary, but I could just see like a lot of groups where they idolize one person. Again, at the top is like a spiritual leader or something like that. Especially in spiritual communities, because I think people have learned that when you obsess over a spiritual icon, especially online or something, it's usually a lot of woo-woo cloudiness and manipulation that it benefits this person, whether it's like financially, power, whatever. But I could kind of see that happening with our generation again, where there's like collective groups of people who share the same values, or like the way they brand themselves and pushing an agenda on social media because of this set group. There's a few people on social media, like on YouTube and stuff, that I know like are in the spiritual community, and people will like, instead of learning things on their own, which I don't blame them for, like if somebody seems like they're good at what they do, you're going to trust them. But people do idolize and iconize people that they don't know in real life because they seem like they know everything, and then they literally take them as God and like will take whatever this person says and run with it and apply it to like their real world decisions, which can be very dangerous. But because we're in like an echo chamber, especially with social media and definitely with political views, I could see it being something where people get so caught up in hearing their own thoughts be repeated back to them that it's like, you're the only one that gets me kind of thing, and like it becomes a collective group with somebody leading it or something like that. And Pluto is about power transformation, all that, and Aquarius is groups, friends, community. So I could see that kind of happening. Saturn is going to be the hard lesson that comes in to clear that up a little bit. I think tech is going to advance so much, a lot more rapidly before our eyes, especially in the next few years coming before 2024. So obviously we see like algorithmic tech replace human jobs and stuff like that, like the self-checkout situation, but I don't think we're far from having like legit robots in our day-to-day life. So like I was saying, AI therapy, robot teaching over online, like a algorithm teaching an entire course rather than a person, all of that kind of stuff. I think I had one more thing. The other thing was Uranus and Taurus that I wanted to talk about. So Uranus, unexpected changes. Again, that's Aquarius. So social media, friends, community, technology, unexpected change, just shocks, stuff like that. Things that are not normally expected in Taurus. And Taurus is all about assets, finances, liquid cash, security, comfort, luxury, all of that stuff. So we are going to be seeing random everyday people literally get rich so unexpectedly, possibly even overnight. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. I think we've been seeing that a lot too, just with the stock market, with what was it, like GameStop and Naked and Nokia, and I'm definitely forgetting other ones, Dogecoin, stuff like that. Like, we're seeing people literally wake up and become millionaires, and they work at 7-Eleven and they can't pay their rent, and then all of a sudden they have all this fucking money, and that's because there's unexpected changes in their assets. I think people are going to be abandoning their online availability in order to reach their highest potential success. So I feel like people are going to be like, bye to their social media in order to really fucking thrive and then come back 10 times harder. Something that confirmed this for me already was Megan Thee Stallion posted something of her like literally being like, I need to take a break. When I come back, like, it's going to be insane. It's going to be next level, and I guarantee she's going to have a new album. And Megan Thee Stallion, along with anybody else that really puts in the work with their creativity this summer, it's going to pay off massively financially. What else? Cashless society. I talk about this all the time, just like in my real life, because I've been investing in crypto for a few years now. I was so dumb. I used to do transactions through Bitcoin on Coinbase in like 2016 or 17. I think Bitcoin at the time, if I remember correctly, was literally only 6,000, and I was not investing in it. I was only using it for transactions. And why did I just mention that? Oh, like, I've been saying this for a while now, that like, even if you do not understand crypto, get your hands wet, like get your toes wet, whatever the saying is, and invest like even like $10 into a few different cryptocurrencies, just because like inevitably everything is going to rise in value. One, because that's just how the stock market works. Everything rises in value because the economy is going to inflate regardless. But with the growing interest in cryptocurrency, like, it is so important to just like put some money in now and worry about learning it later, or like as you go, because we are obviously just like inevitably probably going to be moving into a cashless society. Do I agree with that necessarily? No, it is like a dangerous thing in some cases. Obviously, it's like very progressive in a lot of ways as far as technology, but it is a little concerning for like homeless people or low income people and just people that don't even have access to tech to begin with. When I'm talking about this, I'm also talking about it like with America first. I don't know how to explain this on like a global scale yet, but I do see this happening in the US. But I think the cashless society idea is going to be being introduced to us a lot quicker than I imagined it to be. So like within the next 2 or 3 years. And the reason I don't think it's going to be so shocking is because it's probably going to be introduced to us through influencers, people we already trust. And like influencer marketing, we see that with clothes and stuff like that. But I think now with so much availability of trading platforms and like making it so easy to now buy and trade crypto, like on Cash App, even that was like a big thing. Having it introduced on there made it so that everyday people who aren't investing on like Coinbase or like their own platform now have it on like their normal Venmo app or something like that. Like, it's increasing exposure so people are more aware of it. But I think that we're going to be making the total switch to like a crypto wallet or like just an online digital currency wallet, because it's going to be due to influencers like softening the blow of the transition. So through campaigns and like incentives, apps, exclusive groups and stuff like that. This was like my biggest one that I was like, I am fucking right, and this is already happening, because I saw Gary Vee post on his YouTube community tab that he wanted everybody to be ready to like create this crypto wallet with 1 ETH on May 5th. I'm recording this on May 3rd. And I thought this was just a Gary Vee thing. I know a lot of people like treat him as a god. Like I was just saying, like literally will do whatever he says because they trust him so much with their finances and business. So it makes sense that he is talking about crypto because it's something that he clearly already is well versed in. And so I thought he was just running this campaign. Like I thought he was making an app or something like that. And I was like, okay, interesting. Like this is literally what I was talking about. He's getting everyday people who just have a small business to, you know, have what ETH is at $3,000 right now, ready by the next 3 days. So I thought this was just a Gary Vee thing. But then I was watching Alexandra Cooper, the host of Call Her Daddy. I was watching one of her vlogs. I never watch her vlog. I do not like consume her content at all, but for some reason I was like, okay, let me click this. And she clearly like doesn't know what she's talking about. Like she probably just got picked up as like a sponsor for this app that I'm about to mention. But she was saying how she was making a joke about her friend like selling foot pictures on this app for Bitcoin that she was talking about. And she was like, the app is going to launch tomorrow. I like don't even know what I'm doing, whatever. So she was just talking about this app, and then I was like, okay, this is not a coincidence that Gary Vee and Alexandra Cooper are both saying like at the beginning of May they're doing something with Bitcoin. So I started looking up social media platforms that allow you to earn cryptocurrency. I found a few. I know it's like not a new idea, and this is something that people have been trying to do for like years now, but it hasn't been the most successful endeavor. But then I saw this app called BitClout, and it's literally where you invest in the coins of influencers rather than companies, and like their value fluctuates depending on how well this influencer behaves, if that makes sense. So like if Alex Cooper goes on Call Her Daddy and says something racist, then the value of her coin is obviously going to decrease. And if you're investing in Alex Cooper, you know, you invest in her the same way that you invest in a company. The reason you invest in a company is because you believe in them, you think the value is going to go up, maybe you don't even like them, but you're like, I know I'm going to make some money off of this, that type of thing. So that was why I had to make this video, because I was like, 333, oh my god. I was like, I'm already seeing this shit come to life, and I want to make sure I document this, like, while I know. But, what else? So I think, again, Uranus and Taurus, our ideas of what wealth and beauty look like are going to shift. People are going to go more towards the natural sides. I really think, like I said, Kardashian era is definitely ending. Fashion Nova era is ending. I really think the fillers and BBLs that we started seeing around 2010 start to pop up. Definitely not immediately or right away, but I do think that that's going to be like, ooh, soon. Do I agree with that? No, I don't like that women's bodies are trends, and every 10 years it's like, okay, am I going to be anorexic, or do I need to gain 50 pounds so I'm deemed attractive? I don't agree with that, but I do think that is what's going to happen. I think the whole filler craze is going to die down, and people are going to be more attracted to people, again, that are normal and down to earth and not striving for perfection, but striving for authenticity. I think CGI social media influencers, like Lil Michaela, if you don't know who that is, look her up. I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and that it's, like, going to work. Like, people are going to make these CGI people and, like, genuinely get sponsorships through them and, like, probably make an entire career off of somebody who isn't even them. So you could, like, essentially be living a double life and have two totally different careers. But, last one, I know I've been here for a while, I think brands and businesses are going to be taking their marketing to the next level with super innovative campaigns that we haven't seen before, or huge tech debuts like this screenshot I added. What screenshot did I add? Oh, it was the Megan Thee Stallion thing. Like, people are going to take their marketing and like up a notch and make it cooler and more innovative. Aquarius. For example, digital business cards. We've been seeing some of those, or like the pop tags that people put, where there's like a HTML coding or something like that, or like a little QR code that links the pop tag like on the back of your phone. You can like put it on, and it will give you like a digital business card on your phone, or like bring you to that person's social media or something like that. So I think we're going to really see a lot more marketing even with small businesses like that. There was actually a giant QR code in Shanghai, I want to say. Yeah, Shanghai. And it was a scannable QR code. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. It was a scannable QR code for a game, like for an app or something like that. And it was projected into the sky by drones. And people were like, what the fuck? Did their thing, got their QR code, and now, like, that was amazing advertising. So, like, I think that's kind of where we're going to start seeing that, but, like, even with everyday smaller businesses. I know that was so much information. I honestly, like, don't even know how to close out this video. I just wanted to document it. And the reason I wanted to do it on Photo Booth, like I explained, was because it's more authentic. I think people are looking for this kind of content and don't want YouTube intro first 30 seconds is saying, buy my merch, follow me, please, 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 please subscribe, and then, like, you know, perfect full face of makeup. That's what I would normally be doing, but I wanted to follow suit of what I was talking about just so I can have it recorded. I'm gonna stop talking now. I literally need to take a nap after how many words I just said. Follow me on Patreon. I talk about this shit every day, sometimes twice a day. That's what I was trying to say. And I really try to give people cheat codes to life through astrology. Again, I'm not a woo-woo person. I don't bullshit. I don't do any of that. I research, I find patterns, and I say, this is what happened last time, this is what's going to happen this time, this is how you prepare, and this is how you get ahead. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so tired. Okay, bye guys. KMONEY.BIZ. Go to my website.